God bless you, Jamaica. This is part 2 of the mystery of the forever God. I am here with us with me, the mighty man of God, Chief Ptahanka. He's a very powerful man, very awesome man in his class, and in his doing, he's very classic. So we want to talk today, and the topic that we want to continue from the last time, the mystery of the forever God. We know God is real, God is just, God is awesome, God is forever, nothing changed. And we know that God will never change his words that he placed upon the earth. But God have placed the world in automatic, and we know it stays forever and ever. I introduce to you Chief Ptahanka.
Yeah, and of course, my name is Ptahanka, of course, title Chief of the Arawaks and the Tainers of Jamaica. And of course, the last episode we had, we talked about the manifestation of the Most High on the physical plane where we are now. And we're going to be picking up that subject from last week.
So we want to continue to speak on the mystery of the forever time. We want to leave the earth, Chief, and we want to start in eternity. So we have nothing to do with the earth. We just want to talk about God and God only before we return back to the earth. So we, in the mystery of life, in eternity, there is life. And life stay in eternity with a seed that will continue to change. And life will change into a twinkling of an eye. While God places seed of man, or the seed of a dog, the seed of a cow, a seed of rats, goats, all of these seeds have to go through eternity. They have to go through the water. If you see the donkey, the cow, the goats, all of these seeds go through the water. So whatever stay in the water, God sanctified, God ordained it, God assigned it to a location, a purpose, and a place. God's word is majestic. It's awesome. Is classified, is sovereign. You can name it in all the class.
Infinite.
It's totally different from the thoughts of man. Now, in eternity, there is no devils. There is no hell. There is no long-suffering torment. It's just freedom, happiness, greatness. Baby don't work for what they want. They just eat freely in the water. They swim in the water. They play in the water. They talk to the whatever mystery within the water they talk. So there is no need for long suffering, pain, headache, whatever. The baby just go through the mystery of the ages. But whenever you leave eternity and flow into time, that's where problem take mankind.
So we talk about divinity now. We talk about the Most High. You said, let's go before the earth then.
Yes.
And let's move over into divinity. When we move over into divinity, we can go to the very beginning stage before any universe was created.
Before any universe was created.
Right. And this is why when we read the language of the Most High, it uses the word il kulum.
Yes.
The word il kulum means the all.
The all.
Which means you cannot take from the all.
No, it's the all in all.
That's right.
Yes.
It's the all. You can't take from it,
yes,
and you can't add to it. Now, from the all is going to appoint a divine one to rule within the all.
Yes.
And when this one comes, this one has to create a state of nothingness first to put things in.
Yes.
So when we talk about the premodal state now, we're gone before the earth was created. You know. And here is another mystery too, because when the Most High said in the Torah that the stars will shed its light upon the planet Earth, look at the statement good and see that the statement was made before the earth was created.
Yes.
Right? Because he's saying, you know, that the stars shall shed their light upon the earth, the planet Earth. That statement would have to be said before the planet Earth come into existence.
And there was no earth at the time.
No earth at all.
So the imagination of God created what he wants.
This is so true. And it is so perfect because if we look at a star, a star are billions and billions of light years away from the planet Earth.
So God don't speak because he don't have a mouth to speak.
No, he doesn't.
So it's just imaginations, thoughts.
Just like with the Elohim, the masters. Yes. How you think he communicate with the masters? He merely think and they react. Just like a person said, my mind told me not to do it.
Yes.
And I asked them, was it a voice that was speaking to you when your mind was telling you not to do it? It's not these 2 ears.
No.
You see? So it's the same way that the Most High speak to a human. The same way you said a voice was speaking to you and telling you not to do it, and you didn't listen. But that voice was not an audio voice.
No.
It wasn't verbal. And it was not language either. Well, this is the fascinating mystery about when the divine is communicating with a human.
Wow. The divine power of God is sovereign. It's absolute. And when you look at the divine shadows in eternity, there is no doubt that man's imagination can't go that far. Man's imagination is too narrow, too small to even achieve 1% of the knowledge of the mystic divine Holy Father.
So true.
You have to be a very, very deep person. Not deep in the spirit, because the spirit to go nowhere. You have to be deep in the power of God. Deep in the mystery of the eternity. To take something out of the glory and explain it in natural life.
Yes.
I look back at Jesus. Jesus could transform himself into hundreds and thousands of different persons. And that's why Pilate was confused. That's why Herod was confused. Because when the soldiers bring Jesus to Pilate, Jesus saw Pilate coming in the runway. And he said, yes, that's the man. But when Jesus reached in front of him, he changed in a different form. Then after Pilate said, okay, let's place him there, then he changed again. Then he changed again. Then he changed again. Then Pilate started confused. He said, I don't want to talk about this man. Bring him to Herod. When they bring him to Herod, the mystery of God is so omnipresent upon Jesus that when Herod saw him coming through the runway with the soldiers, it's the real man. But as Jesus approached the enemy, he started to transform. The power of God will transform you right in the eyes of the enemies. They can't identify you. They cannot see you. You are totally different from the presence one that they're looking at. So when Herod see that Jesus changed, he said, place him there. Then he changed again. Then he changed again. Then he changed again. Herod get very angry. He said, bring him back to Pilate.
Yes.
These are the power that we're looking for.
And let me just interject for a minute, because that's interesting. Because you know, so man can transform himself in that way. Then that man will put you into a whole lot of trouble. Because if Pilate if the governor send you, and say, go and get this man.
Yes.
And you go there and see the man there, the man look the same way we look for him. You know him, and you pick him up, and you bring him in front of Pilate. No. The man, the Messiah can make you get killed, The Messiah can make you get killed.
Very much.
Because he'll let you arrest him as the person, and when him get in front of Pilate, him change him face. So hold on, one second pause. When you change your face in front of Pilate, Pilate is going to say to you, you idiot, this is not the man I sent you for. And they say, no, sir, but it's him. And they look at him, I'm sorry, sir. All right.
But when
he's going to put you in trouble. The Messiah can make you get killed, Now him change his face, and the second time, when you come to get him again, he make you see him as he is, and you arrest him, and when him get them change him face. And then Pilate said, you're an idiot. Get the head of this man.
So it come card man in Havertree.
Yes.
A tree card man show you the real card.
Yes.
Then to convince you, he turn it.
Yes.
He bend it. It's the right card.
Yeah.
But as soon as your hand get in close to it, to lift it up, it changes.
Right.
How can it change in your natural eyes?
Yeah,
how can the mystery of God so great, so powerful, that nothing stay as you see it? It keep moving.
yes.
So this is a power of God that I want to bring to society, bring to Jamaica, bring to the world, to tell you, stop identify Jesus as a dead man. Stop identify Jesus that the man on the cross. Stop it. You're cursing the anointing of God. You're disrespecting God. You're also disrespecting who you serve and who you are. Stop confess you're a sinner. Stop confess you don't worthy to call upon your Father name. All of these things are manipulation. You don't need to go to university, to go to school to know that God cannot dead. Common sense must tell you. It's very clear.
Yeah, yeah.
So the mystery of God lies within shadows. Is just like the caterpillar who continue to change from a caterpillar to a butterfly, butterfly to a bat to a lizard, lizard to a bird. He keeps changing. He has multiple images within himself. Now Jesus will appear on water. They said, how the man could walk on water? The man is not just the man you're thinking of. The man is a mystery.
But I don't think they understand it.
And Jesus cannot be identified. Yeah. And why he cannot be identified? Because the power of God cannot be limited. The power of God is unlimited. So they changed the real Jesus and give us one that born of Mary and Joseph. And that Jesus that they give us, married to a woman, have many children.
Yes, but then again.
So he was a human.
But then ask yourself the question, do the Christian really know who the Messiah is? Do you think they know who the Messiah really is?
They're not that deep. They're not
right.
that far.
Well, the first thing that we look at then, look at the name Jesus. Let's begin now.
Which we know his name is different elsewhere.
No, because
but we use the name just because they're used to that. So we say this is the Jesus.
Yes, well, they might not know. They might not know that the name Jesus is coming from two Greek gods.
Yes.
We have Jah and we have Zeus. Zeus being the head of the pantheon. Now, when you combine the name Jah and Zeus together, you get the word Jesus.
Yes.
And if you say Jesus to a Greek person, in Greek, that is Greek, they're going to say, oh, you're talking about Jesus.
Yes.
Now, when you get to English, we get the word Jesus. Now, Jesus is a Greek name and the Messiah was born in Galilee.
Yes.
So how can he born in Galilee and not having a Galilean name and having a Greek name?
Plus,
there's no blonde-haired, blue-eyed people born in the Middle East.
Wow.
Plus, Jesus is not a Middle Eastern name. So when you begin to look at all of this, they don't really know the Messiah. They don't know who he is. They have this bearded white person saying, it's Jesus. But let me just say this, though, that the Messiah's life of 27, because I did say on one episode earlier that they spoke about him at the age of 12, but never talk about him again till he get to 33.
Yes.
So they miss out all his young age, his young period. So what did he do at 27? He married Mary Magdalene at 27.
So he married
Yes,
Mary
and then
Magdalene.
he went to Sudan on his honeymoon. Right. And then he had children.
How many children did he have?
He had Sinai, Iglal, Zubir, and the one in Acts 18 called Bar Jesus is his son.
Yes.
Because remember, we in our culture, remember, we don't say have last names, We say Ptahanka, son of this, and so on. So when you say Bar Jesus, you're saying son of Jesus.
Yes.
See, and he's in the book of Acts 8, and he was a sorcerer that was bewitching the people. That's Jesus' son.
Yes.
He was trying to keep them away from sorcery. See, they don't have the whole story of him there. So I don't think the Christian really aware of who the Messiah really is, even up until now. So when you hear them jump and say Jesus and the blood of Jesus, they're not talking about Yeshua, They're talking about Jesus, which is a white false image that they present of the Messiah. If you go to Revelation 1:14 right now and pick up the description of the Messiah, it don't match the picture we have. Because it said his hair is like lamb wool, which means that he has a 9 head of hair. Where you pluck the black man hair from the root and hold it up, it curls in the number 9. And you take the lamb hair and hold it up, it curls in the number 9. So that's the most sacred animal.
Yes.
So he said his ear is white like lamb wool. Then they said his body was as if bronze. Bronze is already brown. And it was as if bronze burned into a furnace. Now, you and I know nothing burned white. Everything burned black. So
Yes.
they're describing the complexion of the man as being dark skinned. And then he said his eyes was like a flame of fire, which is the sickle area, which is the white area of the eye, only become red in black people when the melanin become concentrated in the blood. So they're showing you this man and say, when this man go out in the sun, he becomes like he's roasting a oven.
Wow.
And his eyes are red. And his ear is got hair like lamb's wool. Ask the artist to draw a picture of Revelation 1:14, and you and I sit down and look at that image, and then we take the image they have of Jesus and put it beside it, and then we'll see who the false people are. They don't know who Jesus is.
They don't know. So we want to go deeper in the mystery of the ages. So he changed. He's a changed man in a twinkling of an eye. So he appear, he disappear, he transform, he reform. So that's the Jesus we're looking for. But as we speak before that, his name is different elsewhere because his name is combination that open many doors. So the power of God only need the combination to change things. If the three-chord man can change a chord into what he wants to change, how the pastor cannot change a sick person into a healthy person? How the pastor cannot change a crippled man into a righteous man?
But the pastor is dying of cancer.
A holy man.
Pastors are dying of cancer.
So pastors are dying of cancer, yes? Pastors are dying of all different type of sickness.
Yes,
so if he is dying of illness, then there is no power in himself to heal the generation.
Well, there's no divine there.
So there's no divine.
There's no divine there.
So we need to find someone who is not dying, who is not sick, who is not dumb, who is not blind, who is not depressed.
Yeah.
We're looking for a mighty man. The inspired men, influenced men of God. These are the men we're looking for. Even when we water down to Jesus, he's not a person close. Adam is now nowhere there. Melchizedek have some power because Melchizedek don't have no mother, he don't have no father, he have no origin. We don't know where he come from. So we could use Melchizedek as a person close to the divine Holy Father. But how do you describe Melchizedek?
What is really the duty of Melchizedek? Because Melchizedek is an extraterrestrial being, actually. When they refer to him as not having a mother and father, they're talking about his spiritual nature.
Yes.
And if you go to Genesis 14:18, you'll find out that he came to Abraham because Abraham was following the Hindu faith. He was belonging to the Hindu faith.
Yes.
And he came, and that's why he said he break bread with him and wine. And he took him from the Hindu faith and bring him over to our culture, Nuwapa, where Nubian people practice. Now, surprisingly, the longest liver in the Bible is Methuselah, 969 years.
Yes.
From Abraham, you'll find Melchizedek mentioned there, and in Daniel 7:9 you see mentioned there again, and then in Hebrews 7 he made Jesus a high priest after his order. Now this is an extraterrestrial being that comes to earth at a certain time. Normally he comes at the end of a cycle. Now the cycle ends the year 2000, which is the moon cycle, and we're into the golden sun cycle now, so you should expect him right now on earth right now.
Yes.
Now that is another question because the Most High don't change. So from Abraham to Jesus is 6,000 years. That is a longer period than 969 years.
Wow.
And the reason why they said he has no mother and father is because he's an extraterrestrial being. He brings knowledge to the earth, and he comes and changes the earth and lay down the foundation for the next 6,000 years at the end of each cycle. Now, surprisingly, the question now is, why isn't he here now? That's the question. Because you've come to the end of the moon cycle of the year 2000. We're in the sun cycle now, which is our cycle.
Yes.
Which is Nubian people's cycle now. And we're already going through a tribulation now, and the Euphrates dry up, so the Chinese is going to come over with the Third World War. Now, is he here or not? Are they hiding him from us? That's the question.
He's in shadows. I wish I indicate that he's in shadows. Because Melchizedek have no season. He's not seasonal. Yeah. Because the power of eternity that flowed through Melchizedek staying forever. That means wherever the eternity, wherever the divine place him, he stay there forever.
Yeah.
So the power of the divine still working through Melchizedek to continue for the earth to stay alive.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I can agree with you with that point. But normally,
because
normally
tree is still growing,
yeah.
Life still on the earth. It's not a season. Life don't have seasons.
Yeah.
It stay forever.
But if you notice though, the scripture only speak about Melchizedek certain times, you know.
Yes.
See, and then there's a whole section that the Most High speak about Melchizedek.
I believe they don't have much tip on Melchizedek, so they just have a little script.
Well, the Christian don't have any information at all, really. If you begin to look at the tablets that we have, and look at the Holy Torah that the Grandmaster translate, and you begin to look at all these things, you get a different view. But Melchizedek is called Umyanun when he's outside the earth. You see, he's, when you say the angel Michael, by the way, when you say Michael, is the same being that been coming millions of years, been coming to earth. He comes to earth and lay down the foundation normally for the next 6,000 years. And when you read about him, he's called Umyanan, outside. He's a teacher outside. And the Most High make them as fourfold being. The masters are fourfold being, which means that they can be on the spiritual realm and they can be on the physical realm at the same time, and they can be else places at the same time. Just like how we make Israel the angel of death. Yes. We give him eyes to see right across the entire planet, and he has many bodies that he can be at every place at the same time. So even though you see Melchizedek on earth, he's somewhere else. No, we have a grandmaster on earth we were going to be talking about sometime. And everybody's afraid of him in the world right now. The U.S. government is trying to set him up right now. They're afraid of him. He solved every mystery on earth. He wrote 400 scrolls circulating the earth right now. He translated the books of Moses in its pure form, and he received a holy tablet with 2,000 and some odd pages. So we're going to be talking about him later on, because the government of the United States afraid of him. The Muslim in the East afraid of him. All the Christians afraid of him. And everyone that takes him on him writes 360 questions to ask a Muslim, 360 questions to ask a Christian, 360 questions on the Rasta. When the Rasta take him on, he wrote about Is the Last of the Christ. And when the Israeli church take him on, he said 360 questions. We need to tap into the Grandmaster next time, because the Melchizedek come in different form and in different body at different times.
That's true.
When he was here 6,000 years ago, they called him Ner, and he was into a different body. And he's back this time, so we need to tap into that. But he's an angelic being, actually. And this is why the Torah said in Genesis 2:3, we are the descendants of the heavens. These are the generation of the heavens and the generation of the earth. So our gene comes from out there, and our families come from out there. So anywhere Melchizedek come from is exactly where we're trying to get back to, because this has to be a family to all the indigenous people on earth.
So we need to connect with the divine through Melchizedek.
Yeah.
And when we look back in forever, we know that the anointing of God stayed. It
always
cannot leave.
Always.
It don't change.
No, they don't
power.
change. No.
It cannot water down.
No.
God don't do nothing of himself, because God have his servants upon the earth.
Of course.
That work for him. Life is great. Life is awesome. Boy, I tell you. Life is a mystery.
Boy, it is a mystery.
But we need to identify life in the mystic level.
Yeah.
Not in the normal level.
Yes.
In the mystic level. Life don't let you work for what you want. Life will work for what you want and present it to you. So we realize how the power of God work. The power of God work in mystery, that you don't run down things run down you.
Come to you, yes.
It come to you.
Yes, of
you
course.
don't ask for it.
True.
Things asking for you.
Yes, it's so true.
So we need to get back to that divine holy power. Not the power that we go and fasting, we pray, we fast, we holler, we starve ourselves, and still not happening. So we know that something is missing.
Yes,
something is wrong.
Of course.
And you cannot tell Christian people not to fast. Yeah. They will say you're coming against God. Yeah. They will say you're not straight. They find all different type of things to disregard you. But the truth of the fact, everyone have the rights to achieve the inheritance of their father. And the inheritance of their father is right here.
Yes, of course. The meek shall inherit the earth.
The meek shall inherit the earth. So inheritance of our father is right here.
Exactly, of course.
And we need the combination to access. All we need is the access.
Yes, this is the key right here. The key is right here.
But the Bible states one thing, that the wealth of the wicked laid up for the just. That means the wicked is hiding God's people blessings. So we need to start to knock on some wicked people doors and take back what is truly belongs to us.
Yeah, but then remember, the Most High taught us that He would make us rich, And remember, the Most High did not send us to be poor people, Remember,
No.
Because He did say in there that in the part you mentioned in the book of Matthew chapter 5, where the Yeshua said, the meek shall inherit the earth. Every piece of wealth comes from the earth.
True.
So that is to show you that He did not create us to be any poverty. He didn't create us to be poor. He didn't create us to draw slippers.
No.
But the one thing He warned us about is seeking after other people's wealth. That we must create the wealth ourselves.
What hurts me of all is know that the intercessor is the most effective person. They pray the most, they worship the most, and they are the poorest person in the church.
Saying about
and
poor.
You tell me that the pastor don't see something wrong with that?
Yeah, well.
How can someone who pray the most, worshiping the most, who you believe would have the more power for blessing, is starving?
Something is wrong there.
Something is wrong.
Something is definitely wrong there.
And they're telling you that you must have faith.
Yeah.
Faith is not of God.
But they say faith is what? Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things we see.
But you don't even have to see to know it's there.
No.
The wisdom of God must tell you God not going to put His child on earth without inheritance.
No.
It's there.
No, yeah, but if you go back in the Torah, He gave us gold and He gave us everything. He gave us all the riches.
Everything.
Whether we give it up or not, but He gave us the riches, And
Hear what they said. They said the poor was with Jesus all the time. Garbage. You cannot pour among Jesus.
No. And
that's not possible.
And Prophet, because we can look at something else. Chinese people don't worship Jesus.
No.
And they're wealthy.
Wealthy.
Indian people don't worship Jesus, right? And they're wealthy. The Jews don't worship Jesus.
And they're
wealthy. The Arabs don't worship Jesus. And they're wealthy. And the Africans don't worship Jesus, and multiple of them are wealthy. So, what is it? Everybody that prays to Jesus is poverty and poor.
Something is wrong.
Something is wrong there.
But you have to be careful how you look out and let Jesus do. You can't look out and let Jesus, so they will talk bad things about you.
Oh well. But everything they preach is bad. They're telling you that God is the Father and God is the Son, and He's the Father and He's the Son at the same time. When no culture, no nation, and no other religion teach are nonsense. So everything they talk is already nonsense.
So they're saying that God is the Son.
Yes.
And the Son is God.
Yeah.
And also He is the Holy Ghost.
Yeah. Which made no sense, because look at this. In the book of St. John 16, when the Messiah said, I will go and pray the Father. That is another person I talk about, I is a person. I will pray the Father to send to you the Comforter, which is the Holy Spirit. Now, there's three separate entities right there. No, you have to be a born idiot, really, not to see this. I'm serious. Look at this. I am going to pray the Father. The Father is someone else other than myself.
Remember,
and I'm going to pray the Father to send something that is not the Father and is not me.
But remember, He said very clear that I do nothing of myself.
The Father strengthened Him.
Unless I talk to my Father. So Jesus done nothing of Himself.
But St. John 14:28, look at this one. the Messiah said, my Father is greater than I. Then when you get to the 33rd verse, he's going to tell you, now, I follow the commandments of my Father.
So the Bible is manipulating the people.
What's wrong with these people?
The Bible is manipulating the people, and we as pastors are confused.
No. I think you mean they are confused.
No, I'm putting myself because they're causing me too.
Oh, they say you're confused? Well, now I know that they are confused. Look here, let me get back to this thing here. Our Father, whom art in heaven.
Hallowed.
The Messiah is teaching people who to pray to and how to pray. Correct?
Yes.
All right. Now, tell me now, do you have to go to university to understand that one verse?
You have to go to basic school to
Hold on. Do you have to be smart to understand that one verse? Or is it you have to be a fool not to understanding it? If I say pray ye after this manner, I'm saying follow me. This is whom you are supposed to pray to. Our Father, whom art in heaven, and only be thy name.
What I want to get close to.
Yeah.
Jesus have never released the power under the disciple. Because after Jesus go away, you never see a disciple stand in the public and said, oh, give thanks and food appear. And there was with Jesus all the time, the multitude. Jesus said, what do you have? They said, we have maybe 3 fishes, 5 loaves. And Jesus multiplied it and feed the whole nation. But how Jesus did not hang down this mystery to the disciple, that even when he passed, the disciples still suffering. Then they start to run for their life. Then you hear that this one, they died, this one died in Greece, this one died in Ethiopia, this one died. So all the disciples them who was among Jesus dead. Then if I am an army, a powerful army of the divine Holy Father, and we are not strong enough to fight the power on the earth, that they kill our God, and we as disciples now have to run for our life, then something really wrong.
All right. Don't forget, they were wimps, Don't forget that the disciples were wimps. Because remember, the Messiah said, I have many things to say unto you.
Yes.
But you are not ready for it.
Not ready.
See that?
They were tradition.
You see that? So it means that they were students, but they were not devoted students.
They were devoted.
Remember, there was only one out of the 12 that was considered the Messiah's favorite, which is John. That's why every time he said, John, my beloved.
My beloved.
But if you look at it, he told them to stay in the garden while he prayed. You remember what happened when he went to pray?
He didn't trust them.
They fell asleep.
He didn't trust them.
You don't remember that?
Yes, he didn't trust them.
Right, he didn't. He didn't at all.
Even when he was going in the mountain, he only bring 4 of them.
Yeah.
And they were so astonished.
I don't know. People think that they were this phenomenal. They were a bunch of delinquent students. They were never good students at all.
And the truth of the fact, they could not identify Jesus. So every time Jesus appeared, they have to say, Jesus, is it you? Because they don't know him, man. And they're the disciples.
But look at it. Look at it. When the Messiah was about to leave the earth, didn't you hear what one of them say? When him say, I have to go, didn't you hear one of them say, Master, can I come with you?
Come where? Where you going? Who can you come?
I would never ask my master if I could come. If you're intelligent and he's got to leave, where you going? Come in where? It's just to show the type of student that we were dealing with.
Can we come?
They were mentally weak, man. They were mentally weak.
So Jesus have to bring 4 of his trustee in the mountain and say, look, man, you are here with me, but you are not for me, and you are not my friends. I'm going to show you some of my friends. So when he go in the high mountain, immediately they said he transformed into a white, shining sun.
Yes.
And all in a sudden, his friends started to appear. Elijah appeared and said, oh, I'm here, man.
Yeah.
I'm covering for you.
Yeah.
Moses appeared.
Yes.
And there's much more that they don't show them.
Yes, of course.
To say, look, man, these are my friends. You're not my friends. You're just my associate. So Jesus' bucketive lies in shadows.
Yes.
That no man can identify who is there with him. But they're there.
Yeah.
What is so special about prophets and mountains? that they always have to go into mountains?
Well, there's a science about the mountain, and if you look at the magnetic impulsation of the mountain,
yes,
it's stronger than the plane. And the mountain is considered a terminal of telepathic communication. If you were to leave your body, see, come out your body and look at forestation, you would see a spectacular beauty, sum of light of all different colors, which tells you that your spiritual body is also in colors.
Yes.
And when you drown yourself down into that energy and you look, you're connected to the whole universe. So it's easier to get information from the mountain because the plants connect you to the spiritual world. So there's many plants as you have more magnetic impulsation and more magnetism in the mountains. So this is why when the Messiah finished down below, you have to go up to the mountain and recharge himself, because the plant is going to recharge you. You see, that is where all the energy is in the mountain. So it recharge. And take a note, the commandment was given on a mountain, which with Moses, well, it Mount Sinai into a temple.
Mount Sinai, yes.
Right, the temple of Arta. But all of them reside on a mountain though. And the Prophet Muhammad that them talk about, which was a black Sudanese, whose father was Abdullah and Amina, he was on Mount Hira as well, and he got the Quran from Jibreel, which was one of the masters again.
Yes.
And this was into a mountain in a cave again.
What about Selassie?
Well, I don't know. I don't think Selassie fits in that bracket. Selassie was a politician. And Selassie's name is not Selassie. His name is Tafari Makanen. Tafari Makanen, yes. And he inherited the name of his father, because his father was an Ethiopian. So when he became the head of Sidamos, in the culture we would have the word Rosh or Ras to the head. Like if you become the head of the horse fleet, they would add Ras to your name. If you become the head of the garbage dump, they had Ras to your name. So being Tafari Makanen, when he became the head of Sidamos, they add Ras to his name. So you get Rastafari Makanen. This is where it comes from. So when a Rasta man is really saying they're a Rasta, that is where the name Rasta is really coming from. So it is a major thing, because right now I'm putting out a question for all the Rasta mans. And they need to tell me, where did the Rasta culture start? Not the religion now, it becomes a religion now. But we need to know, where did the Rasta culture start? They need to tell us that. Because when they started, there was no Selassie in it when it started, and they were never called Rasta when they started. But this piece of knowledge, I don't want to let it out, you know, because it has to do with us here, you know.
Yes.
And we are the first indigenous people that became Rastas, you know. No, we don't want them to know this, you know, I'm putting out the question for them to answer it. But when slavery over, all the slaves came back to the great house and want the master to feed them, hundreds of them.
Yes.
But there was an independent set of people that was thrown into slavery at the end of slavery, which was the young warriors, which were us, the Arawak young warriors. So they came out of slavery and they went up to the mountain and they set up their community up there, while the slaves, they came back to the great house. And it's them people now, because the women used to twist the hair, and because of slavery, they couldn't get the hair twist, so they started to twine up the hair. Then they came out and they were living off the earth. They were eating naturally off the earth. They were in a long white robe, and some of them had their head covered. And they were playing the Congo drum. And they burned Babylon, and they burned the church. They were never part of no church. They were never part of no Babylon. They eat off the earth. They didn't eat meat. That was us, same one. And it's when Marcus said to look to the east for a king now. And the king that Marcus was referring to was not Selassie, because he did not sit down with Selassie, because Selassie was working with the opposite force who was opposing him. So he was talking about Dus Muhammad Ali, which was the king that taught him in the Sudan while he was there. And he was a pharaoh, black pharaoh of Egypt. So he gave Marcus God with the black, red, and green flag that represent all black people in the world to bring to Jamaica, and that became Jamaica's first flag. You see? So when he said, look to the Israel king now, the pale man, make sure he put out Selassie at that time.
Yes.
So they see Selassie dressed into this European king clothes now, and thought he was the one that Marcus was referring him to. So from there now, Ras came in the picture now, because they found out that Selassie was taught French in Aurora into a Catholic school. So they said, so he was indeed a Christian now. So how do we bring this in the religion? How we bring it in the culture? So they had to incorporate Christ in his kingly character as Selassie in the culture. So it become a religion then. This is how the whole thing go. So there's nothing divine about it. And then they're lying on Selassie just like them lie on Jesus. Because if you read Selassie writing, Selassie don't say his God come down incarnate. And he didn't say that no Rastaman was to serve him or to worship him. He said in there that you should worship God. So when you look at this thing, you know, it's the same like the Christian as the Rasta. It's all Babylonian.
But is the same Rasta men make they kill Selassie?
Eh?
Because these Rasta men praise Selassie as God.
Yeah.
These dangerous men say, oh, men praising you as God. Look, we see if you are God and kill him.
Yeah.
So it's the same men who push him to be God, cause dangerous men to kill him.
Yeah, but then again, Selassie, there's something about Selassie that nobody answers. Selassie went out and swore with 11 of his brothers. They went out and swore, 11 of them. Selassie was the only one who came back alive.
Wow.
No, the question is, I leave people to think this over. I'm not going to stipulate anything and try to force something. But look at it. 11 of us went out and swore. If a shark, why am I the only one survive? If the boat flipped, why am I the only one return? What is it that could happen with 11 of us going out ashore that I would be the only one returned to sit on the throne? The only reason Selassie became a king is because he married a queen, Wazuru Menan. Because the throne in Ethiopia is not a male throne, it's a female throne. That's why if you read the Bible, it says Candace sit on the throne, female, and Makeda, who married Solomon, sat on the throne. It's a female throne. So in marrying Wazuru Menan, who sits on the throne, automatically going to become a king. But he was never selected the way David was selected to be a king.
Yes. Amazing.
All other things wrong with that. Because it's rough that Selassie didn't know that he was the Most High came down, and they know. If I come down as human form, I would be the first one to know. But then if my followers know and I don't know, how you explain that?
So saying that he is God.
Yes.
He is saying that, but I'm not God.
He didn't know. They know, but he didn't know.
I love Selassie.
Yes.
And I admire the Rasta men and all of that.
Yeah, yeah.
But if they drop short, they have to correct themselves.
Yes, they have to.
So all I can say, live happy, serve God and live, and make the earth run.
But look here, if you and I go amongst nature, you could never, if you live amongst nature, it's hard for you to say a man is the creator. That's why the Most High put you there. If you live amongst nature, it's hard for you to get up and say a man is the creator.
That's not possible at all to say a man is the creator.
You see?
You should know that.
Yeah. So when you sit there and when you live up, when you're amongst creation, you see the incidents and the occurrences, and when you look at the imperfection of human, the human has 360 degrees, you know, he's limited at 360 degrees.
Look at this. And this is very clear. There are some unseen eyes here that you cannot see.
Of course.
But they're there.
Yes.
Elisha just trimmed his hair, shine it up, put some castor oil so his hair was cleaning. He was walking down the road. Maybe he's going to look a girl down the road. Fix up himself and he said, I am the prophet of God. I'm looking a wife. On his way down the road, some boys come out and start to call him bald head boy. The prophet of God is awesome. The earth, nature, honor his power and protect him from danger. They not just call him bald head boy, but they start to fling at him. Immediately, some big, strong sea bear appear. Where they come from? And they do not just appear and run the guys, they eat them up. So to show you the power of God is so omnipresent that 1,000 shall fall at your side and 10,000 shall fall at your right hand, but they'll never come near thee. I hear Christian people say they don't wrestle against flesh and blood, but they wrestle against principalities and power. Guess what? principalities and power is what cover you. It's not what you wrestle against. You wrestle against flesh and blood because you can't see principalities and power. It's too awesome, too powerful for you. So God have his power down here that cover his people. You don't need manpower.
No.
It's just appear and cover you.
But it's to know that that's the way it goes. It's to know that it's there.
It's there.
That is the thing.
You see me buy a Lucozade, and I pull it, and I open everything on the ground, and I'm gone. Yes. I buy a bottle of water. I pull it. I'm gone.
Back to the earth. Yes.
It's not giving back to the earth. My friends are there with me.
Oh.
If I'm drinking, they need something.
Yes. But we always say
you may don't know who I'm associated with or who I'm feeding, but they're there.
Yeah, but you must also.
There's a gentleman, half a tree, he's going to Spanish Town. Then I make a bad drive, and he stop, I stop. He come out, he come to my window, he start to curse me, tell me about my mother, and I said, sir, I make a bad turn and you almost get hit. I'm sorry. I was on my phone, get distracted. I don't want to hear that, and he start. So I said, sir, I am going to Spanish Town. He said, I am going to Spanish Town too. I said, no problem. I said, sir, if you reach Spanish Town safe, it's because I want you to reach there safe. If you don't reach there safe, it's because I don't want you to reach there safe. You threaten? I said, I'm not threatening you. I am telling you a judgment. This is a judgment. So I said, sir, I'm not going to leave now. You go. I will catch up with you. He make up his night, then he leave. Half hour later, I drive on 6 Mile area. He turned over the road. So I stop. I said, you okay? He said, that's the man that said, I'm not going to Spanish Town. You see, I tell you, you can't reach there unless I want you to reach there. I let you stay alive to show you God is real.
Well, don't be surprised if Kahneel will be a man now, you know.
They're going to find all different type of names to tell you.
Look here. The power is within the human.
So all of these guys who are talking about the prophet, cussing the prophet, we let them stay alive because we want them to stay alive.
Yes, well, you have to keep the evidence.
If I don't want you to stay alive, you cannot stay alive. Mm-hmm. And that's the mystery. If the anointing of God don't want you to stay alive, you cannot live tomorrow.
No. And remember, Noah had the power to lay a curse on a human for life.
For life.
That is the power that the Most High put in us.
You know you can make a man kill himself. Push him to the test to read the Bible, and the Bible kill him. Because when you say something to a pastor, the first thing he's going to tell you, I'm going to read the Bible for you. Then he'll start to read Psalms 23.
The Lord is
and all the scriptures he's reading, he's cursing him. All the scriptures where he think going to back him up, he's cursing him.
Well, you said a point, you know.
So he cursed himself.
That's why we talked earlier about the Bible, remember?
About the Bible.
It's the same Bible when they read it's going to drown them. The same Bible. You know why? Because it's a hearing religion and they never read anything in it. So if you send him to read it and him start reading it, it's going to destroy him. Believe me, because there are things in the Bible they don't know. Listen, you know what? I want them to talk with my hearing, you know. Tackle me with my hearing, you know. I said, Minister, I want to ask you a question. When Aaron was building the golden calf and he was violating laws of the ancestors, where did he get the gold to build the golden calf? The minister don't know. Go back and see, I tell them, don't read. You're judging me by what I'm wearing, but you don't read.
Don't read. Go
and read Exodus 32 again and see if Aaron didn't take the earring from the males and female. Go and read it. Go to Joshua 8:32 and read and see the Ishmaelite men sold their earrings. Go to Ezekiel 16:11, read. The Most I said, I give you a bracelet, I give you anklet, I give you a nose ring. He gave you all these things, and he said, put my name on them and the symbols I give you on them.
And wear them.
And wear them.
Hear that?
So you see that, that is going to destroy him because I don't read it in there. I don't know those things are in the Bible. Is that me telling you? That's what he's just saying. No, if you want to destroy them, like Prophet said, send them to read the Bible.
Make them read the Bible. They destroy themselves. You don't even have to call Cyrus.
You don't have to call Cyrus.
I need to teach the word. I'm prophesying too much.
But I don't know why they would get up and saying Cyrus is no good when they don't know what Cyrus is.
They don't know who is Cyrus.
They don't know nothing about Cyrus.
If they ever know who is Cyrus.
They don't know nothing about Cyrus, man. They don't know nothing about Cyrus. Cyrus got all the way from ancient Israel, old thing. But look here, if they take the time, though, and go look up the word Cyrus, they will find some information on it now. But like I'm telling you,
the information that they find about Cyrus is not real.
No, but at least them see Cyrus because them don't know what it is at all. Them don't have the least idea of it at all. Because the truth of the fact,
Cyrus have no meaning. There is nothing to explain Cyrus. All we know, if you come against Cyrus, you're in problem.
Well,
that's all we know. There's no meaning. You cannot describe him. You cannot develop a meaning to him. All we know, this is a man of the divine. And he's not a man of forgiveness. Once you come against him, you pay. And you pay heavily. That's all we know.
Yeah, but do you really think are you talking about these little people? Some of these little people where what these people are following, do they have any authentication?
Nothing.
Anything authentic that they can produce to show that the religion that they're following is connected to the divine? And hold on, and if I ask them, how was the first Bible written? The Bible that they're using, who wrote the first Bible? How was the first Bible written? You think they would know that? You think they would have the answer to that?
Right now in England, you have a lot of bishops start to closing down their church because they start to realize that the cult that they placed themselves in with the Bible wasn't real.
True.
They realize that Jesus wasn't crucified.
True.
But you can't still tell tradition people that.
No.
They will curse you.
Yeah.
And you couldn't tell me that a couple years ago neither. I would curse you. And I would rebuke you.
Yeah.
Because when you're a cocoa head, you develop so much idiotness in your life. But when you become smarter and wiser, then the cocoa head starts to go away.
Yes, of course.
Very important. We want to introduce to you the tantalite stone, one of the most powerful stones that the divine Holy Father placed upon the earth to protect mankind. And God will never place man upon the earth without he give him protection. So the tantalite stone is a very classified stone. It's very unique in its class and it's very powerful. It breaks spells, it opens doors, it heals, it delivers, it frees. If you have cancer cells, sugar cells, arthritis, whatever, you just keep the stones on your body. It can also help to release the current, release the power flowing through your body and also cause radiation. We don't have much of a tantalite stone. These are what we have live. It is very rare. You don't find it anywhere. It's very expensive. If you look up on the YouTube, you can check it out. It's very powerful stone. This is the rock that was placed in the Ark of the Covenant, Chief Ptahanka. And no one could touch the Ark of the Covenant unless this was Aaron who have the stones to reduce down the power. Can you explain about the Ark of the Covenant?
It's just to show them the power of stones, because you're talking about stones. Many people don't know, but Aaron himself, they read the Bible about the breastplate that he wore.
Yes.
Yeah, and it was a combination of 12 stones that represented the 12 tribes.
So it was the breastplate is a combination of 12 stones.
That is correct.
To reduce the radiation.
And that is to break the current, because remember, the Ark of the Covenant was a communicating device.
Communication
and there's
device.
A lot of current moving around it. So it's only the stones that Aaron had on the breastplate that gives him the power to break the energy and goes inside.
And no one didn't know that he had the secret to break the current. So anyone touch the Ark of the Covenant, then problem take them.
Mm-hmm. It's just to understand that they need to know that, well, the stones that we're presently advertising right now, we don't have much of it left. But we need them to understand the power of these things. You made a statement, the Most High will never leave you unprotected on the planet.
Never.
He knows he's not going to come with his hands and help you. So he put these things, and our ancestors have been using them for thousands of years.
Thousands of years.
And like you said, it revert negative energy from around you.
In those days, we didn't have matches and those stuff, so they just strike the
stones,
and
exactly.
it catch a fire.
Especially the sulfur stone, yes.
Yes, and it used to happen like that. So this stone draw energy.
Yes, and
it removes spells.
Sure it does. Sure it does.
And when you're sleeping, especially when you're sleeping, you need 1, 2, or 3 of these stones around you, so it releases the protection that you want, that no evil may come near your bed or where you have your resting place.
True.
It's very important that all of you have piece of this stone in your house, in your business place, because it also draw energy, increase around your atmosphere and cause you to prosper. True. So we only have just a few of these stone leave. We will talk to Cyrus to locate some more for us, but we don't have much leave.
Yes,
I want to introduce to you the Milky Way. This is one of the Milky Way. Very powerful healing stones. They're called the Milky Way. It's very classified in its class. It's very powerful. It's very unique. You cannot get it anywhere, but we have it for you. Then you also have the Sugar Ray. This is the Sugar Ray. This is a healing stone. This is the most dangerous one in all time. If there's an enemy coming, this one will signal you.
Okay.
This one also helps blindness. You just keep it under your pillar. It radiates power. So this one helps blindness. Then you have miscellaneous. Of all time, it comes with many different fragrance, many different power. They call it miscellaneous. That means this one heal, this one increase, this one do many things.
Yeah, of course, yes.
And then we have a dangerous one, a very dangerous one, up here, very dark. This is the very dangerous man that it have flame in it that can light fire also. But you ever see they say the hills catch a fire? These also have the power to catch the whole hills of fire. This one work with the drunkard. The drunkard will be in Spanish Town and he get a signal that there's a dead dog in Manchester. The radiation of the stone release the connections. It's like a signal. It's like a satellite that pick up signals. These stones pick up signal. These are the ones that pick up signals, that signal you. This one will help you through your visions and your dreams. So this one is very important to have in your bedroom.
Yeah.
If you have a relationship problem, then you need these ones. These ones keep peace in the house. It let the house be at peace. Everyone be at one accord, be at peace. You can use this one. It's very important. So we have many types of stone here that you can use. If you look around, you see different colors, but they're very unique in their class.
So if a person is going out,
if you're going out, like you're going for a visa, you're going to get a work permit, then you need this one. Whatever you need, work permit, you want some blessing, then you need this one.
But,
so if you have it in your pocket and it burning you too much, then you realize that there's too much energy.
No, that's too
so
strong.
You need to get a smaller piece.
Yes, of course.
Very
of course.
important.
Yes,
but this is very, very good.
Yes, and it's good you mentioned that. You know why? Because we don't want them to get under the impression that the bigger it is, that is the better it is.
Yes.
You want them to know that if it's too harsh, a small piece emanates a vast amount of energy around you. A small piece.
So we need to know, all of you need to know what God placed upon the earth for you.
Yeah.
This is a Milky Way. So you need to know that stones is very important. Stones is very valuable, and it's important to man just like it's important to God. So I'm introducing these stones to you so you can have them through your daily life and let the power of God reign victorious upon your life. Chief Ptahanka, we go back to the Ark of the Covenant, because the Ark of the Covenant was very powerful in its time, and no one could not touch the Ark of the Covenant because of the secrets that lies in shadows. But Aaron have a tantalite stone, which is 12 stones around him that could give him access to the Ark of the Covenant. We want God to give you also access to life, successful life, great life, a splendid life. So we want to introduce to you that you will have peace in your house, peace in your car, wherever you place it is very, very important. The joy of the Lord is your strength, and also the knowledge of God is your victory. You must have great knowledge, great wisdom, great understanding that can take you very, very far in society. Chief Ptahanka, we know we don't have much of these stone leaf, but we have Cyrus. What is the last word to God people?
I want to comment on the stone, as you mentioned, the
tantalite stone.
Yes. Now, there are a variety of different stones that maybe they don't know about that generate a whole lot of energy, healing power as well as energy. When you read the book of Revelation, you read about the topaz stone, the emerald stone. They have some called obsidian stone, tiger stone. But one of the things about stones is that some of them are very powerful.
Awesome.
And I already mentioned that they can keep it in their house, but maybe we could also tell them a little bit that they can walk with a piece in their pocket as well.
Yes, they walk with it.
Yes, and it emanates a certain amount of energy. If you hold a stone in your hand and it's too powerful, you will feel the energy burning you. That means it's too strong for your body aura.
Yes.
So you need to get the stone. The stone is a powerful thing. So what you're saying to them, is maybe something strange, but they need to try this, because
very important.
Even if you have a heartbeat that is irregular, you can take a stone and apply it close to the heart, and it slows down the heartbeat.
Yes.
So when you read Revelation, tell you about all the stones that activate the craft and all of this. So what you're saying is a very important thing. And I'm glad to be here today to talk.
You have the miscellaneous tantalite, you have the Sugar Ray tantalite, you have the Milky Way tantalite, all of them. If you have these stones, 1, 2, or 3, even 2, in your surrounding while you're sleeping, it releases the radiation that heal your body while you're snoring.
Yes. And encourage positive energy around you as well.
It places energy around your surroundings. Very important. Yes. So evil don't come among your house.
Well, you see, that is the part that they can't understand. This is part where people will never understand. I think that we're just above them in knowledge.
Yes.
And I think we have to teach them this. Is that if you have 3 stones around you, right? Each one of them are emanating a certain amount of energy. Just say the energy covers this area, the energy covers that area, and the one behind it covers that area. It locks you into an energy zone.
Yes.
So they need to understand that shield is around them. So even if a demonic force of some sort that comes to enter, they have to break through that force.
They have to break through that force.
And this is how the prophet is trying to explain to you how it works, how it keeps them away. If you don't understand, it's the energy of the stone, and they have to come through the energy of the stone to catch you in the middle. So it keeps them away from you. So that is how it's breaking down, how it protects you. It is the stones that break the current. of the Ark of the Covenant. Remember, you know, people got killed by it, you know.
Very, very serious.
People walked into the Ark of the Covenant and get electrocuted and got killed. But he makes it that a stone, the power of stones combined together, was able to break the frequency. So they shouldn't have a problem with stone. They should see this as positive. They shouldn't have a problem with this.
Well, we hope and know that our people will prepare that greatness is ahead of you, and God has placed help within His nature, and we have to use up nature more than how we use up manpower.
Yes, of course.
We cannot use up manpower more than how we use up nature.
And creation,
nature is very important. Nature is there to assist us, to help us in our daily living.
Right.
So please, I'm asking you, use up the nature that God give you,
yes,
and stop use manpower to get power. God bless you, Jamaica. Diaspora in the world, we love you, we believe in you. Keep tuning to us, and we will see you next time. Love you in all circumstances.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and the world at large. My name is Kahneel Farquharson, security trainer and operator of Kahneel Farquharson Training Institute. We're here with some of our lovely trainees today as we celebrate 6 years in this business. We just want them to share some of their experience with you, what the training was like, what's it all about, how did they hear about the training, and also where do they go from here, where do they see themselves. I thank you all for supporting us over the years. I thank you all for being here with us, and I thank you for keep on recommending other persons to us. So right away, I'm going to take it over to training, which is currently in progress, for them to give us a feedback as to what the training has done for them.
Good morning. My name is Matthew Griffiths. I have been trained with this institution, and now I have my license. I'm a certified security unarmed.
Good afternoon. My name is Tasha Tomlinson. I'm from Santa Cruz. I trade in Santa Cruz at Farquharson Security Company. I'm a certified security officer, and in the future I'd like to have my own security company.
My name is Dylan Smith and I'm from Cricket, Manchester. How I heard about this institution is from a past trainee who is a friend, who is now a licensed firearm. I had great experience at this institution with 2 amazing teachers who knows their work. Thank you.
My name is Celine Finlayson. I am from Mandeville. I heard about this training from a friend, and it was great because I met a lot of new persons, and the working experience we get to learn about that and everything.
Again, as we celebrated our 6th year, it has not been an easy journey. A lot of ups and downs, a lot of mudslides, but we recover and we have a mission that we want to serve Jamaica. So we look forward for the dropout, unattached, young, middle-aged, young men and women. We train them, we want to get them in companies island-wide and even internationally. Again, Jamaica, how can we thank you enough for supporting us, for contributing to our well-being, even those that have recommended other persons. We are doing an excellent job, and we just want to continue to build Jamaica and make Jamaica the place to live and raise family and do business. We look forward for another 6 years of touching young persons, reaching young persons. In my closing, I want to say that out of this training today, we have developed and fostered a lot of persons. Today, they are serving the Jamaica Defense Force, the Jamaica Constabulary Force. Some have become correctional officers. Some have become warders. All different factors of life they are placed in. And we have a total tally of 6,000 trainees and going strong. So we are dedicated to the well-being of Jamaica. God bless you all. Thank you for your love and support, and we look forward working with you in the years to come. Thank you.